Hi everybody, welcome to Beyond the Lines. In this third installment of Pinks and Purples to talk about, I'm going to work in the Secret Garden Artist Edition coloring book, which is a coloring book with watercolor paper. And that is very, very fitting because I'm going to work with watercolor and I'm going to work on this particular piece here and also complete it because ta-da, you can see it's done. And I'm going to work with only cold colors. It's actually just two colors and they're both cold tones that I'm going to work with, and I'm going to tell you why I do what I do in this particular piece and why I decided not to have a warm color added to this particular piece. So enjoy and watch along. So today, watercolors. I have taken out the paper out of the book because I want to tape it down, and I did just tape it down at these two sides because here the tape would actually be too thick to it would cover up the heart shape, and I don't want that. I want to have access, but when I dry this and at least have it taped to the table on two sides, I should have only that much buckling go on, and then it should dry back, the paper should dry back to the shape that I want here. Now pinks and purples, of course I had to go with a heart shape, and I want to have the pink in the background and the heart be pink and purple. Now I'm working with the Watercolours today. They are lovely watercolors, and you can see here all the reds are kind of purpley, but I'm not going to use them. I'm going to use the upper row when it comes to the time to have red, but you can see here there's a pink and there's two purples. So I'm going to use those three colors only to color this piece here. Now first I want to have a kind of like a splotchy background. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna get some water first, because I had forgotten that. So here's the water. I'm gonna take a brush, and I want this one here. It's a number 12 round brush, and I'm going to put it in water and liquefy the pink. Already, I could actually, yeah, like that, you can see. I'm standing for this part. I'm gonna sit later and have more of the detail work going on. But for this part, I find it easier when you stand. If you happen to be handicapped and you're maybe not able to stand up, anybody sitting in a wheelchair, for example, you can put this piece on the floor. You can tape it to a board, put the board on the floor, and then spray from the height. It's the same thing. But I have to stand up for that, and I have to get my spray bottle here, and I'm gonna spray the background. I'm going at a very very shallow angle, and I'm going in and I'm going to put pigment where I sprayed something. I want this kind of light, and I have to look against my filming lights here. I want this kind of light because I want darker, more concentrated pink on the heart. On the flowers there later, but for now I just want to add some more pigment here. And now I'm going to spray this again. And to clean up around my piece. Now I'm just going to guide the color, kind of like this, and this maybe. Boop, 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 boop. Now I can dry this off. But before I can do that, I have to actually soak some of these colors off here, some of these splotches, because they would dry as they are. Also here, a bit too much. Ooh, see, there's something bleeding here already. Okay, but now, blow dryer. Alrighto, this is dry enough. It's a tiny little bit buckly, but that's fine. So I'm going to change now to a smaller brush, water tank brush actually. And I'm going into the pink that I have already used. And I'm going to color all of those leaves with the pink. Just one solid layer. Will take a while, but this is how I like to work. With pretty much just one or two colors. I did decide to use the pink for the leaves instead of the purple, because I thought, okay, this actually could be one of the pages or one of the pieces that I do that is more on the pink side. And since this is a cold tone, it's still gonna be laid back in comparison to a warm pink that will be very much in your face. So I could use this for the majority of my piece here. It will be very subtle, very laid back. And I could use the purple for the focal point. And I will decide later on if I want the warm or the cold purple. I will see that when I have the pink finished. I'm also having the stems be colored with the pink here. I don't mind if I go over the lines here and there. I just want the general shape. I'm not bothered by not staying within the lines completely. That's totally fine to me. It's that's the one thing that I really like about watercolors. It makes you loosen up with very many concepts, because it is a medium that sometimes has a mind of its own, and you can get the greatest effects, but you have to let the watercolor do its thing. You can guide it but not really control it. So if you do that, if you're brave enough to do that, well then you will be rewarded with quite the nice look. At least I like the watercolor look. And that means that I can sometimes go out of the lines a bit, or not worry if I go out of the lines a tiny little bit with my paint. Going to speed the part up here now where I do paint in all of the leaves and the stems, because it's just repetition from what you've seen me done so far with this pattern. Just following the lines and just finding all the leaves and all the stems and giving it a second layer of pink color. now that I have all my pink down, I just saw while I colored all of these leaves, there's a butterfly or a moth or something down here. So I have to set this aside from all the flowers that I have to color too. Now I want the purple, the cold purple. I think this is just a nicer contrast. I always say mix warm and cold colors, and this pink is a cold color. Now I'm going for the cold purple, but I had said, I think it was in the last video, that there's some things that you want to tell in your paintings, or that you want to have a certain scenery where you want to maybe not have cold and warm colors, but maybe only warm ones. I had the example of the 70s there. Now I think for this one here, I just want the cold colors. So I'm going to start with a little bit of purple. And I'm going to paint those flowers. I'm going to have more water than pigment. So I want the moth to be the darkest thing. So I'm actually gonna spray my pan of dark purple so that I have a lot of water there already and don't pick up too much pigment, just a bit. Going to color in that all the flowers here. This is maybe a bit dark, so I'm going to blot away pigment. And I'm gonna take another tray of, it's actually Tombow markers there, but that's fine. I'm going to pick up a bit of that dark purple in the corner here, and then I can water it down even more so that I'm not having the super dark purple like I had just there. I'm going around it, the whole heart here, coloring in the flowers. They can be dark, but they have to be watery so that they dry back transparent. Some can be lighter, some can be darker, so I'm taking pigment here, putting it here. Totally fine, works for me. And the darkest thing, or the most prominent thing I want to have is that moth or butterfly down there. I hadn't seen it while I chose the page, I hadn't seen it while I painted the background, and I hadn't seen it while I started painting the leaves until I came to the lower part of that heart. Then I saw it's like, hold on, that's not a leaf shape, that's something else. So yeah, I will color this moth too. Now both the flowers here and the moth actually have space and things to be gel penned, like the tiny little dots in the flowers, and the insect also has those tiny little dots. So I'm probably very likely going to use a few gel pens on this particular page here. Now I'm wondering, also the flowers have an outline, so I could darken that in comparison to the rest of the flower.
or I could have it white, or I could ignore it. One of the three. Wonder, what shall I do? What do I want to do? Maybe I can decide that only once I have all the flowers painted, have the moth painted, have the gel pen in where I want to have it like those tiny dots. And then I can decide, do I need more, or do I want more? Or do I want to leave it as it is? Decisions. But that is something that I have in, I'd say, at least 70% of my artwork. I have an idea, I have a plan, I know what to go for. And at one point I'm like, oh, I could also add this, or maybe I could add this. And then I just think to myself, okay, let's do what I know I want to do and what I know works. And then I can see if I want to add something else. Usually, or I wonder, how often do I then add something? I don't know that it is more often than not. So I'd say maximum 50%, but do I have like every other time? No, I think I don't add as often. I don't think so. I think I leave things more often than I add something that I think of halfway through the painting process or the coloring process. So it seems usually I have a pretty good plan, and if I add something, it's usually detailed. Like, do I want a highlight here? Do I want a gel pen dot here? Do I want this? Do I want that? Not the main big color things like, ta-da, the heart is done. But now I'm going to the way more saturated part of the purple, and I am going to color parts of the moth. So this part here, also this part. Same on the other wing, you have to be really careful. This one, this one, this one. Thank God for thin brushes. You can go really slow, and that will make you control your brush more. And then the middle. Okay. I think I need a bit more of this super dark. I think I need to darken up things here. Good thing about watercolors, you can reactivate, which means you can always correct something, or you could blot it away. With some colors it's a bit more difficult, so reds and purples stain the paper, while earth tones seep into the paper or sit completely on top, and they're way more easily removable. So I'm going to add a bit of line here, a bit of dark. Just to have a bit of oomph going on. I'm not gonna add it everywhere, but I don't think. But where I feel like, oh, I need some movement. wouldn't add anything here. Maybe it's more of the lighter flowers where I think, oh, gotta add something. Bit of pigment, or it's the bigger ones, or not these. No, this one maybe, and this one just a bit. This one too, and this one as well. This one. That one. And this one. I think I'm going for the bigger ones. That's which flowers or which blossoms do I find more attractive to put some more color? Well, the bigger ones. All right, now I'm going to dry this off, and then I can add gel pen, and then I'm done. And then this is a very simple coloring of pink and purple, only cold colors this time round. Hold on, let me quickly dry it. Okay, and now some details. Actually, I don't mind, by the way, that some parts are darker than others. I think that adds to the character of this particular piece here. And it just adds to the shape of this heart. So there's a darker one, and then some of these flowery stem bits, they go through here. So this is like, here's one person coming in, and here's the other person coming in. So the light and the dark. I think that actually works nicely together. And if you, again, can let go of control and let the watercolor do what the watercolor does, you can play with effects like this and really get very nice effects going. Just gonna dot in all the white dots that I wanted to have, and then I'm going to take a last look and see if I want to have more white, but looking at this right now, I actually think it is busy enough. So I'm kind of thinking no white outline of the flowers, but I might have a different opinion once I see the whole piece completed with those dots. Maybe then. We'll see. Just quickly keep on dotting. Very, very quickly. Here and here. Okay, now for the moth, I want this dot and this dot and this and this. 2 stripes, eyes, and butts here. And I think I'm not gonna add anything. I actually like this enough. This is enough white detail for me, so I'm going to leave it as it is. I'm going to remove the tape. And then this is my finished piece. I hope you enjoyed watching along. If you have any questions or comments, leave them in the comment section below. Fill my comment section with wonderful words. I will see you next week, where I have the last video for pink and purple with colored pencils. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. That very much helps. And if you're new to the channel, subscribe and hit that button with the bell, because that will let you know whenever I upload or I release a new video. And I will see you next week for another pink and purple. I hope you enjoyed, and maybe you got inspired with this exact color combination and a bit of black or white to do something, to color something, to paint something that, well, you maybe like. Have a wonderful day, everybody. I hope you got some time to paint or draw or doodle, color, whatever it is that you like to do with color. I hope you got some time for that, at least half an hour. And I will see you next time. Bye bye, folks. Thanks again for watching.